Welcome back, rejects, to a swashbuckling episode on the high seas, emphasis on seas,
in eyes
of the Full Send Rejects. Today, we are taken to the seas in a pirate-themed episode. On today's episode, we get the real Captain Jack Sparrow, the Prince of Pirates, Black Sam Bellamy, and then the King of Pirates who mysteriously disappeared, Henry Avery. No, I'm not trying to one-up you.
trying to be better than me.
No, it's not my fault he just did the things that we will learn in this episode.
Listen, if we're going to one-up anybody, Johnny Depp. All right. Okay. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, Fireball. As always, before our main topics, we will dive into some pre-topic banter, starting with an anniversary shout-out.
Hooray, it's my anniversary.
As Liz walks away.
As Liz runs away to do something else.
Damn.
It's my get-together anniversary with Liz. Yay.
I'm sure she'll come back and provide some loving.
Yeah, she'll be back sometime.
Worst case, you have Gengar.
I always have Gengar.
And then next week is Tupac.
Tupac anniversary.
Oh, so she walks away when you're trying to, highlight this. I mean, Tupac next week.
Yeah, I'm going to celebrate Tupac no matter what.
Oh, there's the old Floridian glare.
That's the Everglades there.
They use that to paralyze the eyes. It keeps the gators from attacking.
Running a zigzag.
Watch out for the fallen iguanas.
God damn it, Florida.
You're welcome.
It's not raining today. Why is this hurt? It's the iguanas.
Oh, it's under fucking 60 degrees. God damn it, Florida.
You guys are shitting on Florida, but you guys either have married or going to marry.
Florida.
Born.
Yeah, because you can just smart enough to leave the state.
Or is it that you are smart enough not to marry anybody in this state?
Well, you
I
got
did
to
once.
outsource.
And look how that turned out.
Yeah, terrible.
Have you
Oh.
met the girls around here? You have to outsource.
You just killed the whole podcast. Why would you mention such ugly?
You brought it up. You asked me the question. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you didn't have to bring her up. You could have just said, yeah.
Mommy, Daddy, please don't fight.
me. Every time I'm around, all you guys do.
Don't you me.
Oh, God, they're going to me Inception.
It's like Beaker had a stroke.
Anyways.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks.
Now that Liz came back.
Yeah. Running away immediately as it comes
That
up.
was the worst time. That's like before. Billy, I need you to help me get something from the car. Proceeds to do it while you walk away.
Yeah, you were just in here talking to Rose and me and Joe are going, all right.
I was having a moment and she was comforting me.
It was just funny because I opened the door because I'm thinking he's like, just on the porch having a beer already. And he's lugging something. I'm like, oh, let me help you with this. You have a limp. How nice of you.
Hey, my broken foot's getting better.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'll mine it all up tomorrow by myself. I was going to say, doesn't she do a lot of that by herself anyways?
Yeah, because I'm usually too hungover in the morning.
You're usually too drunk in the morning.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Baby, look at me, I'm Rose, and I'm so smart about Billy.
Oh, like you know me or something.
Just a little bit.
Well, there's the title. Episode 29. Me. We're pirates.
You
Yarg.
know me.
me, Captain.
Oh, this is gonna haunt us.
Well, the one episode we don't have any hauntings.
Yep.
Hey, I bring one up.
Oh.
However, speaking of hangovers and drinking first thing in the morning,
Monday.
We got pregame tomorrow.
pregame tomorrow is going to be a complete shit show
Yeah.
in a good way.
I'm going to play so much pool.
I've been waiting for this day. It's the second most excited to the wedding, but I've been waiting for this day.
Have we said what it is?
It's a batch party. It's a mix of a bachelor and a bachelorette party.
Oh, that makes a lot.
Because we're all very codependent.
I've been saying Bach party for the longest time now. It just looks like Bach.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a batch party.
Yeah. You ever listen to the German composer? It's Bach. B-A-C.
Johann
Bach.
Sebastian.
Yeah. Boom. He knows his not literature, whatever music.
Miss Cossack taught me well.
Classic music. That's what he knows. That's what I'm trying to say.
Composers.
Yeah, classic composers. Now have your composure. That's what I thought. Babe, for one, I'm trying to, mention the wedding because you never do it during our episodes.
Yeah, you don't want in the pre-topic banter or nothing.
I can't believe it. Like, oh my God.
I quit. You guys can do this episode by yourself.
Yarg.
Can you still play this song though?
Both
We
of you
thieved the episode.
scallywags can go fuck yourself and walk the blank.
Yeah, Eric, do you want to shit though?
Well, tomorrow is the batch party. And then we're off for a week for a wedding. Off as I mean the episode. They're actually off for the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're off for your wedding because, well, we're coming up Thursday night, then
You're pretty much ours.
Yeah.
Ours.
Yards.
Why we call them for call.
Yeah, we get a little bit of joy out of it because we don't have to go in, but we get to hang out with you for a lot of time. I can't wait till you get sick of us.
See, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I'm so sorry.
I was waiting for the other way around. Yeah. Oh, we gotta drive all the way up to the Codex again.
Spend the weekend getting drunk. Oh.
What a terrible time.
Yeah, I hate coming here. It's I have to talk myself up to get here.
You guys are the worst guests ever.
Oh, we're doing this episode.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're doing this episode in person in case anyone didn't catch on.
And we have Liz here who might make some comments every now and then instead of walking away.
As we bring up my anniversary.
Yet again. Yeah, I kind of like the everybody here dynamic because it's not like we're talking and then Billy's stroke of high genius goes, ah!
or when he's doing his thing, he just pauses for 5 seconds, like, oh.
Hold these, I gotta pee. Just slightly hear stream.
Damn it, Kodak,
most of the time.
Damn it, Kodak, you didn't cut this part out.
Why don't you edit when you say you're gonna edit?
I do. Now.
No.
And so we have the Bach party. Bach party. Yeah, the Bach party.
It's a Bach party.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a Bach party.
It's a Johann Sebastian Bach party.
I am so playing some German music tomorrow. It won't all be classic, don't worry.
It's going to be September party.
September Fest.
It's going to be wake up. Right.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of drunken shenanigans tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Got some games.
It's going to make your graduation party look like amateur hour.
Yeah, because we don't have to worry about cleaning up.
It's not your house.
But we do pay the insurance on it. However, we did pay a cleaning fee, didn't we?
I think that is in there, yes.
That's added.
All right, so no one punched any holes in walls, and we're fine.
If someone punches a hole in a wall, they're getting a hole in their face. My fist.
Money on Josh.
I beat up Josh.
Did he, almost give you a concussion once?
He did. And then what happened to him? He had a bruise all over his body for 3 months because I fought back.
Yeah. His injury healed. You're still demented.
Okay.
I took karate.
All right.
I thought you knew jujitsu.
Yeah, I did. I was making fun of her. I did jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I'm just making a Jew joke.
He's also a 6'1", 275-pound man.
Well, that's his problem.
And very drunk me thought I can take him on.
Yeah.
Listen, he stopped.
4'12".
I didn't surrender. He stopped. That was a forfeit.
Yeah, we told him to because he was about to kill you.
It's a forfeit's a forfeit.
He's a very competitive.
You got knocked out twice. That's not a forfeit. That's an actual legal way of
That's
a fight.
a TKO. Twice.
I didn't tap out.
No, you just passed out.
You guys were too drunk to notice. So
no, you were drunk to notice. We noticed until trying to get you to stop.
When I looked back at the cameras, you were still on your phone by the time I was knocked out the first time.
I was down the first time, and the second I was like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah, he was editing the video for TikTok already.
He's like, well, you see the video, and Nicole she rewinded, and Josh is in there like rubbing this part of my chest,
Oh, he's giving you a sternal rub?
and he was just like patting my cheeks, and he says you'll see him look at Anthony, and then he's like, what? Huh? And then he comes stokely over, and he's just like, and then they're both like huddled over me, just patting me like,
hey,
make it do something. Poke it with the stick. But then I came to, and I just started swinging at Josh. Like I thought I came to, but I thought I was still in the fight. I was there swinging, I was punching, I was scratching. And that's when I lashed onto his arm. I bit the shit out of him. That bruise was there for like fucking 2.5 months.
I'm like, oh, I am
Can't wait for tomorrow. It's gonna be a good time.
acting like a nittany lion.
Ha ha ha. Transition.
Look at that segue.
College football is back.
College football is back.
Florida sucks. Oregon is on top. Texas is Texas, and Penn State is on right now. Facts are facts.
Teach me how to ducky.
Teach you how to ducky. Quack.
What happened with that interception?
He dropped it. It was an interception.
I'm talking about the next one.
Oh, yeah, it likely won't matter.
Yeah, it really probably won't. Oh, look at that. Look at the TV. Just there we go.
I hope the whole entire channel goes down. You can't watch the end of the game.
Well, that's just rude.
Someone's saying Florida sucks.
But they do.
Not the entire state. Come down there, little Miami.
Yeah, Miami won.
Or should we talk? How about you guys' relationships? You can walk away again.
Yeah, should we bring up the anniversary to have something to do in the kitchen?
You're about to have something to do in the kitchen. You're about to walk the plank.
We'll sock the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's gross.
I need to put that back on my foot.
Well, that's your problem.
Why is it so dirty?
Why did you say it doesn't matter?
Because you walked with me to the car to bring shit in. Well,
makes
me
sense.
and Liz were supposed to be bringing shit
Oh,
in.
yeah. Yeah, Liz, if you would have helped him when you asked him to help you, this sock would have been clean when I threw it at her head.
Yeah.
It's a Kodak sock. It's never clean.
Forever unclean. Well, I'm the one that does most of the laundry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Hi, babe.
What?
So back to that wedding that we're having next week. Can't wait.
Was that 7 days?
7 days.
If you do all the laundry, then why didn't you ever think about buying laundry detergent? Because we were love.
As I clearly just stated, you do most of it.
That's what you said.
Yeah. That's actually legitimately what I said. This was not. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah.
Yep.
No, it made it seem like it's.
Bet you feel real silly right now.
I bet you feel real silly that they just scored.
No, I didn't.
Haha,
It
made you
just
look.
started.
Made you look. You know, your face got red and nervous. You're like, what? He turned his head very nervous. Like he's like, oh shit, wait.
Well, yeah, because Penn State's on offense, so I was expecting. Okay, the next topic. Just watch that drop.
What?
All right, so what are we doing today and why are we doing it?
As we're having the pirate episode, and we're doing it because if anyone listened to the second Jockopoly special, where we explained why we went on an unexpected hiatus, one of the things we did was we sailed the 7 high seas in Lake Wallenpaupack, and we captured, quote, our own cove.
And a lot of pirate hideouts.
Yep, and found some pirate hideouts, so we felt inspired to do a pirate-themed episode.
Because we were taking over the high seas.
Mid-seas.
Which is fitting because 2 of you are high right now.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, fact. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Well, where were you going with that?
I don't remember.
I do 2 dabs for every episode.
Yeah, well, I smoked a bowl for this one, so here we go.
Changed up tradition here.
You know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's a joint, sometimes it's a bowl, sometimes it's a bong. The bong's for early bong.
Don't we have rum?
We do have
We
rum.
do. There's also Jack in there who likes that. Where is all the rum gone?
Should I grab the rum? Okay, I will go retrieve some rum. Jack can wait till in the morning.
Jack can wait forever.
Oh, I'm the person who edits everything. I hope you hear this. He's gonna go back and listen to this. Be like, you stupid fucks. I'm gone for 3 seconds and you destroy the podcast.
Huh?
Whatever shit talking you just did, I'll just listen to on tomorrow. Oh, fuck. I'm not gonna be able to edit this. I have no time.
Good.
On Monday, I guess I could. I'll come back on over and I'll edit this and publish it.
Okay. You act like we would talk shit about you.
Why
I heard
would we
what
do that?
I'm paranoid, okay?
Wow.
We're both very high, so
Someone
like,
has
of course
issues.
we're gonna laugh.
I have lots of issues. At 10:30 this morning, I finished a bottle of Jack Daniel's to make room in our overflowing liquor cabinet. I have plenty of issues.
I'm just proud of you for that one.
Thank you. I mean, it wasn't like in a large amount, but still.
10:30 Jack Daniels. Well,
No, it wasn't even a shot.
It was like a half a shot at most.
Not even.
It wasn't terrible.
it's still 10:30 Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it was
What?
just like a spit at the
Haven't-
bottom of the bottle.
It was more than a spitter.
Definitely wasn't a quitter. The rum,
Yeah, what about it? I got it.
it's spicy.
Did you want some rum now?
Or were we just gonna sit here and look at it?
If we're gonna do pirates, I do need a new beer.
We talked about your anniversary. You might be able to get beer. A beer might magically appear for you.
So 5 years ago,
4 score.
4 score and another year. No, scores like 28 years.
Is it?
It
How much is a score?
It's a long time.
Wait. Huh. No. I don't know. Your rum. Would you like some rum over there?
Good.
Wow.
It's our anniversary. It's not even celebrating.
I'm sorry, but I'll celebrate with you.
20 years. A score is 20 years.
Ah,
See, I know it was a decent bet.
I guess that would make sense because when Abraham said 4 score, 80, or whatever. Yeah,
It's a lot of years.
yeah. Ah, today we learned.
Look at that. This is an educational podcast.
Yarg. Oh, look, she's getting you a beer.
I asked her to.
Why are you laughing? You're whispering something. My mom is indeed 2.5 scores.
We're millennials, motherfucker.
I was thinking in beer talk, and I'm like, I have a few beers. Like, I had like 15 beers. Yarg.
A pirate's life for me.
To the 7 Seas.
As I just hold the bottle.
Where is all the rum going?
Ah.
Oh, John Morgan. You classy son of a bitch.
Well, now that we had a shot of rum,
Yarg.
now that we had a shot of rum, we're ready to get to our main topics.
Yep.
You know, this is the least amount of time we spent on our pre-topic banter in quite some time.
Really?
I just checked, we're at 20 minutes. Usually we're like, it takes 35, 40 minutes to get through it.
I mean, Rose and I did spend the last episode like a half hour on just. Remember when Bray Wyatt did that?
Oh, yeah. But that was warranted. Do we wait for Billy to come back?
Well, just like his wife, who just walked away.
Get the car for that. You know I did.
Or do you just edit it out?
I guess it's, I can't pause this. Oh, wait.
You'll probably mute it.
How do I mute this?
The mute button. Or instead of end, you just hit the microphone.
I've been trained for this my whole life.
That was the best time for me to mute that. I could not have timed that any better. Nice, all ready to read. Let's go.
All right.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
All right.
Jack Swallows.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
You leave my cosplay out of this. All right. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Because you bitch that you can't hear me.
You actually usually sit back where the cat's at.
Yeah, you're now up front. You're not leaning back.
Blow out someone's eardrum.
Can I read this without you rudely interrupting me? Please? Thank you.
That's what we do.
You are annoying.
7 days, Kodak.
Okay.
Mm,
All yours.
can't
Anyway.
wait.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, one of the worst pirates that ever was. but you have heard of him. He wants to know where's all the rum gone while protecting his jar of dirt.
Michael Bolton loves him.
Pirates so brave.
Today we set sail for an adventurous story of the real Jack Sparrow. Jack Ward was born in Kent County. I said Kent.
You said gun.
Excellent.
Kent County around 1553. And grew up in a fishing village on the southeastern coast of England. He grew up poor, took work where he could find it as a fisherman, a sailor, probably spent time as a privateer in the war against Spain. May have been some point in time involved in sailing expeditions as far west as the Caribbean and the American colonies. Well, sure, it was fun and all, but the war in Spain ending in the summer of 1604. Part of the peace deal was that England had stopped encouraging naval terrorists against Spanish shipping.
Damn Somalis.
Yeah.
Somalian pirates,
Well, this kind of put Jack Ward out of a job. They didn't have unemployment back then. He wasn't super psyched about the idea of being 50 years old and going back to a shitty life where he had to work his ass off for months at a time and barely being able enough to make coin for his weekly intake of whiskey and hookers. Can you imagine working your ass off just for whiskey and hookers? Fuck your mortgage. I'm just gonna go out.
How do you think Louisiana gets by?
Apparently, a lot of pirates did that too. Like a lot of them went broke, just on booze and hookers.
Yeah. So one day he said, "Fuck this shit," and quit his job, and perhaps one of the most badass ways possible. He got a dozen or so men. One of his drunkest of friends at an ale house rowed out to a 25-ton bark.
Yeah.
Bark moored at a port, beat the shit out of the two guys guarding it, jacked the ship, sailed off into the night towards a life of face-shanking piracy.
Wait, when you say face shanking, like I'm about to find out something here. We say face shanking. I'm thinking like some guy in tattoos at a prison cell, just boom.
No, meaning like, stick my damn sword through your face and kill you.
Very nice.
Like a
pirate.
like a shaved toothbrush or
like a full broadsword. Like where we?
You will find out.
Okay. Say questions till the end. Got it.
We do this every time.
I know.
I'm self-conscious now because last week I had to fucking keep editing myself up from spoiling things later.
I know. Over 2 decades, he became one of the most infamous pirate kings in the 16th century. As a man, Captain Jack Ward was short, stocky, gray-haired, balding, heavily bearded.
Yarg, you caught on to my ploy.
His devious.
Yes. Apparently, Kodak thinks he has a big cock and was.
Who said I put that in there?
That was definitely you.
What?
That was definitely you, and was utterly fearless.
Oh, he had a big shaft.
Big dick strands.
He led battles from the front, charged the enemy decks, arms with a fucking battle axe, without the bacon. Thanks, Velisca. Embraced a flintlock pistol. Never backed down.
You dog.
Never backed down from an opportunity to administer an ass kicking.
Especially with that cannon of his.
He generally commanded a squadron of 3 to 4 small, fast vessels, wolf packs that are much larger than ships. Boarded them.
Oh, crying.
Took them without a fight and possibly wasted them if they resisted. Face shankings.
Sharpened toothbrush.
He pretty much was always drunk, spoke entirely in profanity, and loved his hookers.
Well, that deck of his.
He plundered heavily patrolled trade routes in the Mediterranean and commanded the fleet of bloodthirsty commies. Captured some of the most valuable prizes in history of piracy. Captain Jack forged a name for himself as folk across the country in England, all before dying peacefully in his jewel-encrusted palace as an old man. Disney did a good job of classing up his character. Because obviously, the Jack Sparrow we know is not the same. I mean, they gave him a flirty, love busty women type thing. But
He loved whores.
this guy definitely full send certified.
Cheers to the next segment.
Ahoy, mateys. For this episode, I'll be covering probably the nicest pirate that ever lived, the Prince of Pirates, Black Sam Bellamy. Before you two start, that's not why he got his name.
What do you mean? He's like a nice Sam. Sam I am.
Whoa, Black Betty.
Ram-a-lam. Oh, Black Buddy. Ba-lam-a-lam.
Put on those eye patches, swig some rum, and let's get into the most peculiar pirate tales I've ever seen.
Well, swing some rum, all right. Well,
I feel it's only right.
yeah.
We are pirates of the high Wallen Popek.
Or we strike fear into all those with private peers. This was yours, right? Your plastic glass.
We'll pull into your dog like it's ours.
Which we did. We did. Because someone had it. Oh, because some people got sick. Some people were meant for the high seas.
Some people are not meant to be pirates.
Those scallywags.
To the high seas.
That's not wrong.
May the treasure be beautiful.
Ohio.
That's not rum.
It's okay this morning. I'm sorry. This morning, I came in from the kitchen to the room to say something to Rose. I look at my hand, I'm like, well, when did I pick up a beer? I had no recollection.
It just lives there now.
I picked up a Coors Light, which is in my hand. I'm like, when did this happen?
Just subconsciously, you wanted the beer.
Pirate party. I just kept seeing your hand out. I'm like, what the fuck is it?
He's blind right here.
Oh, I know. I fuck with him all the time.
So I tapped on it, so he had to hear me. That heightened his other senses.
That ear is the strong one. Black Sam Bellamy was known for not wearing the traditional powdered wig, instead of opting to pull his long hair back with a ribbon, earning him the name Black Sam.
What are you watching over here?
Just shutting my notifications off, and Jack Sparrow was turned back on.
The Legend of the Black Pearl.
Sam was a very tall, strong man. He was very tidy and well-mannered, as we'll find out about later. Bellamy had a taste for expensive coats that were always adorned by 4 dueling pistols, which Sam kept on him at all times. Always well-respected by his crews, Sam ran a very democratic-style ship, as was the style at the time. He also ran 2-ship crew most of the time, making it much easier to overthrow a ship. Bellamy took down over 53 ships in only a little more than a year. Look at me, I have a touchscreen. Obviously, for the time period, finding facts about Samuel's childhood is pretty difficult, but I do have some basic information. Samuel was born in Devon, England in February of 1689 to Stephen and Elizabeth Bellamy. Elizabeth had died very shortly after Sam's birth, because it's the 1600s. Not wanting to take up farming as a business from dear old dad, Sam began sailing at a very young age. He went on to join the Royal Navy when he was still a teenager and fought in several battles at sea. Look at me. I have a fancy touchscreen. After his time in the Royal Navy in 1715, Bellamy traveled to Cape Cod in search of family members. Back then, Ancestry.com just meant you went out and found the people. I'm unsure if he actually ever found relatives, but he did meet Goody Hallett. There's no historical proof of her first name, but it is speculated to be Mary or Maria or Mariah, one of those, something of that sort. She was also known as the Witch of Wellfleet, which sounds pretty fucking awesome. Most depictions of Hallett put her somewhere in the age range of 16 to 25. However, some claim her to be a very old woman. So, Sam's in the cougar time.
Huh? Good for him.
Shortly after arriving at Cape Cod and, coming into the witch.
Wait. Arriving into the witch? Like, are you saying...
He had came into the witch.
Ah.
Haha. Bellamy was on the move again in 1716.
Did you just catch on to that?
No, I tried holding it as long as possible. It's the haha. The hand gestures. Yeah, well, he obviously did the short stroke, so I know he was no Jack Ward.
Well, lucky for you, this time he was going to search the Florida coast for a sunken Spanish treasure fleet that was sunk during a hurricane the prior year.
Ponce de Leon already covered that ground.
He did that before, I think.
Yep.
I don't remember what year that happened. The expedition was funded by wealthy jeweler Palgraves Williams, who was the son of Rhode Island Attorney General. Williams would also travel on the expedition. Not much is really known about why Bellamy opted to go on the trip, but there is some speculation about it. It's believed that Sam went looking for the treasure in an effort to take Goody away from her husband. And then after Bellamy left, Hallett discovered she was pregnant with Sam's child.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hallett hid the child in a nearby barn, fearing the shame of having her own bastard child. While foraging for food, the baby choked on straw in the barn and died.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't understand how a baby chokes on straw, but I'm not a baby.
Well, it's lengthy, and if it just gets it down the windpipe, then...
You're probably hungry.
I'm sorry, what?
What? Explain how easy it is for
Explain one more time.
that there's a lengthy thing of straw, as think of how cowboys put a straw in there, and it's very long.
It was lengthy. And...
So
it's thin enough to where it can go into the baby's esophagus.
The baby wanted to be a cowboy, but it wasn't buck enough yet.
Yeah. She's trying to get me to do this motion again.
Because at first it was a lengthy piece and it goes down the throat. So it looked like he was Jared from Subway.
It was Jack Sparrow.
Hallett was charged with murder for the incident and sentenced to the old jail in Barnstable, Massachusetts. It said that her ghost still haunts the old jail, so keep an eye out for that. Follow up on Goody.
That's what you mean.
See, I told you I brought haunting back into
I'm
it.
glad I didn't go to spoil things.
Bellamy and Williams had little to no success on the hunt for the sunken treasure fleet and soon traveled to the Bahamas and quickly turned to a life of piracy. The two joined up with Captain Benjamin Hornigold's crew on the Mary Ann. Benjamin Hornigold is a pretty reputable pirate turned pirate hunter, but he's overshadowed by his first mate here, Edward Teach. If the name isn't ringing any bells, that is Blackbeard himself.
I also mentioned Blackbeard in mine.
He touched a lot of lives.
It was actually my guy who touched his life, so...
Oh, well, good. Hornigold was apprehensive to attack British ships, and this caused the crew not to trust him as captain. Because pirate ships were actually highly democratic, the crew held a vote to displace Hornigold from the helm and named Sam the captain. Black Sam left Hornigold and his staunch supporters, including Blackbeard, a separate vessel. This act of kindness would turn around to kind of bite Sam in the ass a little bit. Following him being voted out as captain, Hornigold would retire as a pirate, and instead become a pirate hunter, hunting down Bellamy while flying the same exact colors. Hornigold would die in a shipwreck off the coast of New Spain in 1719. The fucking turncoat.
I just realized that the reason that you are pausing all the time is because you're trying to scroll down.
Yeah, it usually is that. Not gonna lie.
Huh.
I wish I had a fancy touchscreen.
I thought it was because we were taking breaks in between segments
Yeah.
and leaving room for comments.
Almost 30 episodes in, we finally figured out this mystery.
We're doing a real episode in person. We're not just getting hammered.
I thought you were just leaving breaks for us to make little side comments.
That's what I always thought.
I mean, that's there. That's always there as an option too. But a lot of time it's me scrolling down.
Huh. Oh, son of a bitch.
Bellamy would go on to capture another ship shortly after becoming captain of the Marianne. The ship was turned into a galley for the crew, and with the approval of a vote, Sam jumped literal ship and to become captain of the Sultana. He would name his old jeweler buddy, Palgraves Williams, as captain of the Marianne. I talk a lot of shit on this Williams dude.
Fuck this guy.
In the spring of 1717, Bellamy spotted a new ship that he wanted. This dude doesn't even sign a 1-year lease on these fucking ships. The Ouida galley was seen sailing through the Windward Passage between Hispaniola and Cuba. The Ouida was a state-of-the-art English slave ship built in 1750 on its second trip back from Africa. The Sultana and the Marianne followed the Ouida for 3 days before coming into range of the guns. Bellamy fired only one shot one time before Captain Lawrence Prince surrendered his ship and fortunes like gold, indigo, ivory, and obviously 312 slaves and all their possessions. Bellamy would upgrade the ship to 28 guns and turn his newly acquired ship towards the Carolinas after trading Prince the Sultana. Because, again, he's a nice guy.
Wait, so he just traded the prince?
The dude that was the captain of the Ouida, he was just kind of like, here, you take this ship, I'll take this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like the nicest pirate in the entire world. The crew would take down ships the entire voyage north using the speed of the Ouida and multiple support ships to quickly overthrow ships along the route. When the pirates had overthrown a little sloop, Bellamy's kindness kicked in again as he was willing to just let Captain Beers have his ship. However, the crew voted to burn the sloop and abandon Beers. Bellamy apologized immensely, however, still talked a lot of shit about people being okay with being governed, calling him a sneaking puppy and a cowardly whelp. This isn't really important to the story, but the guy's name was Captain Beers, and I got to say the phrase cowardly whelps. So, goddamn right, it's going to the script.
Respect.
2 months after Bellamy took control of the Ouida, famous, very wealthy, before all this even happened, jeweler Palgraves Williams, who was still captain of the Marianne, had told Sam that he wished to visit family in Cape Cod. The two had made arrangements to meet up around Maine and set sail towards the Cape. It seems Bellamy traveled to see his long-lost baby-killing lover, Goody Hallett, but the Ouida was swept up in a brutal nor'easter on April 26, 1717. The vessel was swept onto a sandbarge off the coast of current-day Wellfleet. Shortly after midnight, the mast snapped and the very heavily loaded ship quickly sunk. That's a tongue twister. Of the crew of 146, only 2 survived the capsize. 104 washed up on shore, while the rest, including Black Sam, were never recovered. The survivors were tried for piracy and ultimately hanged in November of 1717.
Damn.
King George had actually signed a pardon for all pirates in September of the same year, but mail was late because snail mail. He probably should have just had Amazon Prime. Williams had gone to rendezvous to meet Bellamy, but when he never showed, Williams had figured out what had happened and set sail to Nassau. Another ship under the command of Bellamy, the Anne Galley, searched the coast off of Maine in hopes of finding Sam, but ultimately could not and turned southward. The captain, Richard Nolan, who was once the quartermaster for Bellamy, took a part in the Bahamas. Fast forward all the way to 1984, and Bellamy was making headlines again as the Ouida was discovered by divers off the coast of Cape Cod. The Ouida was one of the biggest prizes of pirate booty with over 4.5 tons. Over 4.5 tons of pirated goods and materials in its hold.
It's a lot of booty.
The bell reading Ouida Galley 1716 was recovered in 1985, making it certain that this was Black Sam's pirate ship and making it the first pirate ship discovered in North America. There is now a museum dedicated to Bellamy and the Ouida called the Ouida Pirate Museum on Macmillan Wharf in Provincetown, Massachusetts, by the diver who actually found the Ouida to begin with. In February 2018, human remains were discovered from the wreckage believed to be those of Samuel Bellamy, as the remains were discovered near one of his favorite pistols. Upon DNA testing, the bones were confirmed to be that of an Eastern European, however, not our Prince of Pirates. Although Sam Bellamy's pirate career was very short-lived, it was only like a year and a couple months, it was a very successful one. He became one of the richest pirates of the time, earning him the name Prince of Pirates. His crew often referred to him as the Robin Hood of the seas due to his kind nature towards other vessels he had overtaken, leaving many of them still with their ship, or at least one that will suffice. He and his crew captured over 53 ships using patented methods of using several ships to quickly overpower different trade ships. This guy seemed honestly like the nicest pirate at the time, and I believe that deserves recognition. So here's a toast to you, Sam.
I love how it's like he had a patent method. It's like he went to the patent office. So Colonial America's like, hey, this is how I pirate ships. If anyone does this, they owe me money. Okay, I will sue them.
All right, here's all I'm saying. You run 2 to 3 ships at all time.
Listen, guys, I have a crazy idea where we do one-on-one action. But what if we use 2 ships?
That'll bamboozle them.
So I noticed some similarities between our pirates here.
They were around the same time. Your guy was
A little bit before him, I believe. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that because like there's some little things in there. I think 2 of the things are actually 2 things I cut out of my my pirate, Henry Avery. My computer just scrolled. That's like I'm having a touchscreen.
Yeah. See where your fancy touchscreen gets you now.
But like one of the things I did cut out was his early life, but you both talked about your pirate's early lives, and I feel like I'm obligated to. Because he is from England, but something that was notable, was his dad his family had a long history of serving in the English Navy, and B, his descendants still continue to serve in the British government today. So, yeah, I think the last one I saw was like in 2008, had like some political office. But yeah, Averys were kind of a big deal.
Well, I'll be damned. But yeah, this was golden age of piracy.
Oh, what a day. I'd love to be a pirate for a day.
Right?
Yarg. And now time for Henry Avery, which to me is a pirate, and I'll get into it later. I think my last paragraph I have here. But once I heard about him, I was always interested. So this whole thing was a nice learning adventure for me.
He's a pirate.
Some say he's also a buccaneer.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, that came from France.
Well, he fought the French, so
he was a man who smoked meat.
That is apparent. Why are you moving Henry Avery?
Oh no.
There's fuckery afoot.
No.
I literally just watched the thing go boop, 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 boop.
Because there's like 2 lines up there.
Your whole write-up was just squashed together.
Yeah, because it bothers me if there's like a run-on.
Your whole thing was a run-on.
You shut up. I mean, like into like you're started on the bottom of this page.
Oh, you're just moving down to the bottom of the,
Yeah.
the next page?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she just had the down.
Oh.
You see,
I get startled,
think
okay?
you're worse than me.
No, I don't.
You have no faith in
Like I
her.
would put giant cock somewhere in your right
Yeah,
eye.
who would do such a thing?
Or the N-word, like an asshole.
Yeah, whoever do such a Florida thing like that? Okay. Henry Avery. Like I said, I cut out the part where his early life, but I kind of summarized that already. You know, he grew up. He was kind of like I say they were loyal to the crown and important people, but they certainly weren't like wealthy. They're kind of just there. They weren't like farmers or anything like that. They saw some favors with the crown, but
So we knew this
They
dude
weren't.
was a pirate, so he was just kind of like the anarchist child.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Think of like a lower middle class family. They have some of the things they need, but life could be a whole lot better.
They're doing okay, but they
Yeah,
could be better.
especially for times back then. And he also grew up, as you said, for your Jack Sparrow character, that how he had background being, you know, a fisherman and stuff like that. Henry Avery had the same thing, but he would begin his life in the actual seas with service with the Royal Navy. He was, like I said, most likely a sailor since he was a young lad. Popular theory is that Avery served aboard the English fleet that bombarded Algiers in 1671. Buccaneered. I just buccaneered. That was an actual legal term that they used for him.
Men who smoke meat.
Yes, he smoked some meat and killed some men and pirate some ships in the Caribbean Sea in the name of the crown. And even captained his own logwood freighter in the Bay of Chimpanche. More accurate details would pick up in March of 1689, after the outbreak of the 9 Years' War, which during the 9 Years' War, England waged war against France, along with the Grand Alliance consisting of Bavaria, the Dutch Republic, the Palatinate, Saxony, and Spain. It was an effort to curtail French expansion because, you know, Napoleon.
Fuck the French.
Hey, I'm French.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck the French. So is he. He's Jewish too. Because the microphone can't hear you doesn't mean I can't. Speak my left side. I was right. I have tinnitus.
Words still hurt.
A bottle of Heinz 57 ketchup.
Moving on. During this time, Avery was now in his 30s. He worked as a midshipman aboard the 64 gunship of the line HMS Rupert.
64? Shit.
Yeah, back then they classified ships kind of by how many guns they had. A pretty simple method, if you ask me.
Warship, sloop, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
He served under the command of Sir Francis Wheeler, which you think he would have been an army man, but here he is in the Navy. Naval records indicate that Avery was a family man who co-signed his pay to his family, which basically meant that his family got most of his money. The only thing he kept was a small amount for an occasional tobacco.
I'll have one tobacco, please.
Yep, one tobacco. He would just occasionally have a cigarette, or however they did tobacco back then. Occasionally.
One tobacco.
He just sucks on the leaf.
Yeah, he was never one to splurge on himself or do anything for himself. He would rather go to his family. Respectable.
He's a good guy.
Gets worse at some point, but
Great guy.
yeah. At this point, he is a great guy. Actually, he's a fucking great pirate. During this year, Avery helped capture a large French convoy off of Brest, France. There it is.
What?
I just knew someone was going to laugh, snicker, make some comment here.
Do you expect me to make a comment about Brest, France?
Avery seized this opportunity to raise his rank and earn a promotion to master's mate, becoming the most junior of HMS Rupert's 3 master's mates. You okay over there?
Master's mate.
He's a master mater. What can we say? In June of 1690, he was invited to join Captain Wheeler's new ship, the 90-gun HMS Albemarle.
It's a warship.
Oh, that is a big ship, where he participated in the Battle of Beachy Head against the French 2 weeks later, where the English were just absolutely fucking decimated.
Got sand everywhere.
Avery would be discharged from the Navy 2 2 months after this, on August 29th.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago.
That it was. Kind of worked out nicely. Avery would soon be hired by the royal governor of Bermuda, Isaac Richier, to transport enslaved Africans from West Africa to America.
Dick.
Yeah. As I said, it gets worse. He is not always a nice guy. His morals, he was a family man, but his morals and ethics were not on par.
I mean, times were different.
That didn't stop Jack Sparrow, okay?
Hey, you leave him out of this.
I'm talking about a good thing about him, okay? It was close stated in the movies that he became marked because he wouldn't transport humans because people are in cargo.
He just didn't want to pay for it.
Either way, moral.
Yeah. He made a morally correct choice. He might have been a pirate and did some dastardly things afterwards.
There may have been no money in it for him.
Yeah.
Either way, didn't do it.
Avery would primarily operate off of the Guinea coast and was noted as acting more devious than most other practitioners of the slavery trade. He would often fly friendly flags to learn other ships and then raid them and steal their cargo, aka people. And then he would seize the sailors and then chain them next to slaves and, sometimes selling them as well as slaves.
Well, I mean,
It gets worse.
no good.
We go through this with me every
Why
week.
does it always get worse?
I just pick topics, and as I read, it gets worse. As I do my research, it just escalates into just terribleness.
Look, Black Sam was just a really nice guy.
Listen, I don't know why, but I always pick the worst of the worst.
Thanks.
He took down the
I
slave
meant
ship.
topics.
Thanks.
Avery would soon be hired as a first mate for the Spanish expedition, a collection of 4 English and Spanish ships that were to set sail to the Spanish West Indies, trade, supply the Spanish with arms, recover treasure from wrecked galleons, and plunder French possessions in the area. The 4 ships were led by an Irish nobleman, Admiral Don Arturo O'Byrne, who previously served with the Spanish Navy Marines. Before,
sound like a Spanish name to me.
oh, well, he is Irish. Before leaving port, Flag Captain John Strong proved to have a weak immune system and would die, being replaced by Captain Charles Gibson.
Oh, yeah, the flu and died.
Yeah. I actually did look it up. It was not scurvy. So
Well, that just seems off. Like, not right.
it was probably the flu or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I just
the cold.
I just thought it was kind of wrong because his name's Strong, but yeah. After a series of naval and fortunate events, Avery would begin to recruit others to commit a mutiny against the captain, citing that no one has been paid as promised and the ships were stuck in a Spanish port until documents would arrive. Because as you said, snail mail. They sat there because they were promised pay in advance, and then they'll get like second half, when the job is done. No one got paid, and they were stuck in a Spanish port for about 2 or 3 months. So, no money to, take care of yourself or eat or anything. Might cause some people to get a little pissy.
Yeah, why didn't they just leave? Rather than be like, hey.
Well, because Avery and his charisma and experience and being born a lowborn, most of the men believed in him and followed Avery to a mutiny. And as you said in yours, democratically elected him as their captain. Now, on May 7th, 1694, O'Byrne was scheduled to sleep ashore off the ship, which gave the men the opportunity that they were looking for. At approximately 9 p.m., Avery and 25 others rushed aboard the Charles II and surprised the crew. Captain Gibson was bedridden, so the mutiny ended without blood spilled. Allegedly, there's a lot of allegedlys in this story. Backup for the mutineers arrived via a longboat from the James and asked, "Is the drunken boatswain on board?" Before joining, after being fired upon by the James, Avery took the Charles II to open sea. So a little code there to make sure that the coast was clear.
They're on the up and up, yeah.
Yeah. Bells were rang as soon as someone noticed, and guns were fired, and they fled. Now, they would eventually reach safety, and once they did, Avery did a respectable thing here and offered every non-conspirator a chance to go ashore and offered Gibson an opportunity to be a second mate. However, he politely declined, and Avery stayed to his word and gave him and the others who wished to not stay a boat, where he and some men found themselves safely on shore. Avery would keep one man one man on board that he would not leave, and that was the ship's surgeon, believing he was too important to let go, which is, kind of fair.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Medical care is kind of important. The remaining men unanimously elected Avery as a captain of the ship. Now, Avery convinced the men to set sail for the Indian Ocean to begin their plunder. Being renowned for his prowess of persuasion, possibly detailing Thomas II's success story of capturing grand prizes in the Red Sea a year earlier, the crew decided that each member would get an equal share of any treasure, while the captain would get 2 shares. Avery would rename the Charles II the Fancy, reflecting both the crew's renowned hope in their journey and the quality of the ship, as they set sail for a course around the Cape of Good Hope.
I'm so fancy.
Yeah, I really like the name Fancy. You already know we're gonna pirate in the Indian Ocean.
God damn it.
Avery would commit his first act of piracy at Mayo, the eastern tip of Cape Verde's Sotavento Islands, robbing 3 English merchantmen from Barbados of provisions and supplies, with 9 men joining Avery's swashbuckling crew, which now numbered 94 men. He then continued to Guinea, where he tricked a chieftain to board his ship and took him as a slave.
What a dick.
Damn.
Oh yeah, Avery's a little bastard, all right? He's a fiend. Stopping in Benin, Avery would make alterations to a ship to make her the fastest ship in the Atlantic, stripping away parts of her infrastructure, and following the retrofit, Fancy captured 2 Danish privateers near the island of Principe, taking all the ivory and gold from the ship, along with welcoming 17 more members of the crew. The crew aboard the Fancy would stop in Madagascar in early 1695 to restock on supplies, most likely in the area of St. Augustine's Bay. The next stop on the journey was the island of Johanna in the Comoros Islands, where the crew got some R&R and, casually looted a French pirate ship. Yeah, another pirate ship. No one was safe from Avery.
Yeah, these are casually.
Yeah. It was just an R&R. They thought we're on a break. Let's go back to some pirates, see what we can do here. They looted the vessel and recruited 40 more men. They built the crew to 40. Huh.
I hope they had more than.
Oh, no, 40 plus 94. That's 134. That's my mistake. Now, while at Johanna, Avery wrote a letter to the English ship commanders of the Indian Ocean, falsely stating that he had not attacked any English ships and did not intend to attack any. He provided a signal for the English ships to use, warning that if they don't, his crew might get a little feisty and attack them. This letter was entirely unsuccessful in preventing the English from pursuing him, and some believe that this was deployed to avoid the attention of the powerful East India Company, whose ships were a huge threat to Avery.
Fucking East India Trading Company.
Oh, just you wait. Avery now set sail for the volcanic island of Param to wait for an Indian fleet that he knew would be passing soon, which would make Avery the leader of the most profitable pirate raid in history.
Lufthansa.
He would... Shout out Goodfellas. Avery... Never forget. Avery joined forces with 5 other pirate captains. 2, Joseph Farrow, Richard Want, William Mays, and Thomas Wake, totaling 440 men, of which Avery was elected admiral of, because, democracy.
What's the thing on Thomas Wake? Pretty badass.
It's pretty fucking crazy that the whole world was believing, people should have the right to vote, and pirates yeah, we should all just do this equally. Just say who you want.
Yeah, pirates are just well, fuck it.
Despite their crimes, they're pretty progressive groups of people.
Yeah, running a democratic ship, shit.
Yeah. Don't forget, women also had rights in pirate ships. If you pull your weight, they didn't care. And back in that time, that was a big deal.
Sure.
Very much was.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, no, it's not bullshit at all.
Hence the reason why girls had to dress up as guys, so aboard pirate ships.
Tell that to Anne Bonny.
There's a lot of pirate ships that were like, hey, we don't give a shit.
By the way, I'm cities.
Yeah, no, it's a big stereotype that women were looked down on.
Not in the pirate world.
A shame.
What do you mean it's a shame?
That they were looked down upon, that they just couldn't go on.
Yeah, but the pirates were like, "Hey, come on!"
That's what we're trying to tell you. Pirates didn't have really a problem with it.
It's a shame that they had to hide.
Not as a pirate. In other aspects, yes, it's quite the shame.
It's a shame that they were going to get their ass. Some poor soul was going to get his ass kicked by a woman posing as a man pirate.
They didn't pose as man pirates; they were just there.
And Bonnie, the other one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Again, there's probably a few pirate captains that didn't take okay with it, but
I know Blackbeard was not a fan.
yeah, he was a major one. But generally speaking, most pirates, as they were like, "Guys, you can pull your weight, go right ahead."
Bellamy has a couple of them.
Yeah. Now, moving on. Soon, a convoy of 25 Grand Mughal ships were soon spotted passing through nearby straits, including the 1,600-ton Ganj-e-Sawai with 80 cannons and 1,100 crew members. I meant crew members, not cannons.
Yeah, I was confused.
With an even larger escort, the 3,200-ton Fateh Muhammad with 94 cannons and another 1,100 crew members. Under the cover of night, the pirates soon gave chase.
They didn't have headlights on them.
Well, I bring this up later, but as a reference, Grand Mughal is Indian, basically.
Yeah, no, I figured. Fateh Muhammad was a pretty weak.
Well, you never know. It could be like another Islamic culture or something, but this is Indian. Now, Wan's ship, the Dolphin, was much slower than the other pirate ships, so they agreed to burn her, and they joined Avery on board the Fancy, while two was eventually killed in a battle with a Mughal ship. Avery would take Fateh Muhammad 4 days later, which was owned by one of the wealthiest merchants in India, and the treasure was estimated to be worth 50 times the worth of the Fancy and her crew, and the treasure was shared evenly throughout the fleet, based on their previous agreement.
So you get for naming your ship the Dolphin, asshole.
But it's not quite agile as a regular dolphin would be.
Little two will tell you what they
Now, with the escort gone, Avery now had his eyes set on the Ganj-e-Sawai, which translated to English meant exceeding treasure, which was kind of a prime target for some pirates with big eyes. With only 3 ships left under his command, Avery would take the lead ship in a few days. The Sawai was a massive ship with 80 guns and a guard of 400 men with muskets, along with 600 more passengers. However, Avery struck luck when one of his cannons took out the main mast of the Sawai, while also suffering a cannon explosion that completely demoralized the Indian crew, who made a last-ditch attempt at firing a musket volley at the pirates, which then became a 2 to 3 hour hand-to-hand battle between the pirates and the crew.
Oh, they're shorts.
Sawai's captain went below deck, armed the slave girls, and sent them to fight the pirates. See? Told you.
Did you say slave girls?
Yeah, slave girls. There's a bunch of slave girls under there, and the captain, instead of sending by his crew, went down there, gave them some weapons, and would go fight, or else.
It's like Operation Get Behind a Doggy.
Oh, I now see the South Park.
Affirmative action.
No, it wasn't the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't speak rap. Now, a lot of Indian historians would largely place the blame of this battle, the loss, on Captain Ibrahim, who was the one who went down and told the slave girls, hey, go fight. They blamed him mostly for his failures in being a leader during this battle. Now, Avery's crew suffered close to 100 casualties, with, different sources give different numbers. However, they would claim the ship as their own and win it. They would win the battle. Now, as I said, the story kind of gets a little worse at some point. And this is the part.
It does.
Yep, this is the part where the victorious pirates then pursued what the Geneva Convention today might call war crimes.
It's not a war crime if you're the right to do it.
Well, here's the thing. What they did was categorized as a orgy of horror that lasted for days.
Sounds great.
It's not. They would proceed to rape and murder prisoners deck by deck. Torture was also used to gain information from the prisoners regarding hidden treasure on board the ship, and some Muslim women committed suicide to escape the horrors. Now, the orgy of horror was mostly aimed towards the Muslim women. As you would not be surprised here, the white Christian lads that were, or lasses that were aboard the ships, were kind of mostly spared.
You mean the Christians held the Muslims down again?
Yeah. White people were not too kindly against the.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, quite a shock.
The white people are the greatest people on earth.
But that's why these some of the Muslim women committed suicide to try to escape what was happening. Well, anyone who survived these atrocities were taken aboard the Fancy, where they suffered through more of the more of the same. And this just wasn't hearsay, like the victims tried making stuff up. Some of the pirates years later would admit to this. We'll talk about what happened.
No, they got pardoned.
We'll get there. That's nothing in your mind. That's something I cut out, but now that you mentioned it, I will bring it up later. But no, there was mostly on their deathbed that some of them felt guilt and mentioned it in memoirs or told somebody or something like that.
So this one time.
Yeah. Yeah, this one time we went and we just committed some light war crimes.
We were out at sea. We took the ship.
We took some women.
The ship.
Yeah, we made some actions towards the ship with our wieners. Some reports say that Avery himself took a wife from the ship, which happened to be the Mule Emperor's daughter, Aurangzeb, finding her to be the best prize of the ship. Now, some other sources say she was actually the granddaughter of him, but still, taking the descendant of the emperor as your wife, that's a move.
That's a ballsy move.
Yep.
Colonies. They kept in word.
Oh, yeah. However, there were some conflicting reports that Avery never even boarded the ship. But come on now, how would you expect this a pirate to lead this great, I don't want to say great, but grand fucking raid? One of the greatest captures in pirate history and not at least go see the ship.
Yeah.
Bullocks to that. Soon the survivors were returned to their ships and allowed to return back to their voyages like nothing happened. Just a casual like, goodbye.
Oh, nice guy like Samuel Bellamy.
Yep. The loot was estimated to be between 200,000 and 600,000 English pounds, with 500,000 gold and silver pieces. The richest ship ever taken by pirates. Now, I did some mathematicals on this, some research, actual research. This is somewhere between 33,995,111 pounds to 101,985,335 pounds in today's money, which converting to freedom money is even a little bit more, somewhere between 35 to 110 million dollars. They got a lot.
I want to be a pirate.
Yar, to Somalia we go. After the battle, Avery sailed Fancy to the African island of Bourbon, where each sailor learned that they made more money from this one raid than most sailors make in an entire lifetime. Roughly 1,000 pounds each, with additional gemstones as a bonus.
Where is this island of Bourbon?
It's by the Sea of Whiskey.
Where is the Sea of Whiskey?
Kentucky.
Less for the trip.
It's actually near the East African coast, I believe. I think I remember. I looked at a map of it. It's somewhere on the African coast. Disputes still arose about where to sail now, as the crew was now marked men. Even by other pirate ships knew that Avery's crew had these prizes and wanted them for themselves. The French and Dutch members of the crew remained as Avery sailed for Nassau in the Bahamas, along with the remaining crew and 90 slaves that he purchased for both labor and to use as trade, so the crew would be less likely to use foreign currency that would raise suspension.
Why can't Nassau? That was like a big pirate port.
Yeah. 17 more men left the crew after a stop at Ascension Island in the Atlantic, an uninhabited island but filled with sea turtles who provided plenty of food.
Wow, like that one bit.
Yeah, they kind of stopped there along their journey, and just 17 more men. They just found plenty of food. And like, okay, we can just stay here instead of being part of this bullshit.
There's a shit ton of turtles here.
Yeah.
They're turtles.
Now, Avery's attack on the Ganges Saway put the East India Company's entire existence into question as profits continued to take a hit. Between this and some recent wars have been happening. When the ship finally made port in India, the local emperor was arrested all local Englishmen for a lack of turtles. I'm just kidding. This is part of the punishment for the brutality that these pirates committed because, English and English, they just said, fuck it. But it was also kind of for their protection, as many locals found the rape of the Muslim women unforgivable and wanted revenge.
Oh, we cared about them at the time?
Oh no, the Indians. Indians did. They're kind of together. The Empire. Yeah.
The chief not wanting to snag a hoe.
Yeah.
Wrong kind.
Yeah. No, the white people were still like, fuck it, who cares? Indians like, hey, you know what? This is wrong. Emperor Aurangzeb began to close down factories belonging to the East Indian Company. He arrested all their officers, and he almost led an armed attack on Bombay, which was in England's possession at the time. Now, to deter him from doing this, the Eastern Indian Company would end up paying all the financial reparations, while Parliament declared the pirates to be enemies of humanity. They issued a £500 bounty on Avery's head and a royal pardon for anyone who disclosed information about his whereabouts. The EIC, which is the East Indian Company, later doubled the award to £1,000, launching the first manhunt in history as information came that Avery was likely in the Atlantic colonies under the protection of a corrupt official. Now, this is where I remembered how you said England just gave a royal pardon to all pirates. During that pardon, Avery was specifically removed from it.
Really?
Yeah, that he was specifically named that he is not a part of this. He is fair game to go capture or kill.
Oh, shit.
Yep. But if anyone on his crew said anything about where he's at, fair game. Just, you're fine. Go ahead.
He's that big of a prick, huh?
Well, almost taking out their largest economic supplier in the Eastern Indian Company, and, letting his pirates just lay waste to all those poor Muslim women. Might make you an enemy of the state.
Yeah, I could see how that might ruffle a couple feathers.
So after this, the fate of Avery kind of remains a mystery. However, there are some theories. Historian Douglas R. Burgess, who is has the most agreeable theory of what happened. He argues that the pirates sold their treasure in St. Thomas, then anchored at Royal Island. We're almost done, Liz.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. 50 miles away from the Bahamas. 4 men from the Fancy attempted to bribe the local governor under the guise that they were illegally trading and that they were just violating the East Indian Company's monopoly. They even offered Fancy herself. It was a fancy deal. Fancy bribe. Burgess believes this offer to be really tempting for the governor, as the island was heavily unpopulated and has been ignored by England due to the 9 Years' War raging and the French Navy capturing nearby territory, which meant that the large and armed Fancy might deter some French aggression or other people who might try to raid the island. Also, what might have helped was the bribe was 3 times the governor's yearly salary of £300. So,
Come on.
The theory states that the Fancy was allowed to stay because the security it offered outweighed the risk. However, the local council was not told about the bribe during the vote. After a private meeting, Avery handed over the Fancy to the governor, along with 50 tons of ivory, 100 barrels of gunpowder, several chests of firearms and ammo, and several anchors.
Who's that much fucking gunpowder?
They raided a lot of things. I didn't include all the other, most of their ships they captured in his year of pirating.
As the question came out of my mouth, I'm like,
pirating. The governor would always deny ever meeting Avery or taking a ship, and he would eventually strip the ship down and have it burned and sunk to get rid of any evidence.
What a dick, Richard Nixon.
The theory continues to state that Avery and his crew would separate from here, with Avery and his crew splitting up, with the majority fleeing to North America, with some return to England, and Avery is believed to have fled to Ireland, where his crew that stayed with him was captured. However, Avery would escape. Now, there was a minor theory that Avery was cheated out of his winnings while in England and died in poverty. However, with no money to bribe people, this seems unlikely, as he most likely would have been captured because there's nobody to pay off who might have recognized him from a poster or heard his name or anything like that. But it is more likely that he changed his name and remained in Europe. But there was an apparent son of Avery that stated that he did die in Barnstaple in England.
Barnstaple?
Yeah. My personal favorite theory, though, is that Avery became a pirate king who established a pirate utopia in Madagascar. Now, this was a popular folklore among the common folk, but the more noble community members did not believe this. The last reported sighting of Avery occurred in June of 1696. Now, you said before your pirate was some of a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So is Avery. Over time, he would become an influence for other potential pirates, as he was seen as something akin to a Robin Hood.
That makes sense with the time.
Yep.
Honestly.
He was a working class man, rose to the ranks, and became a fucking full send legend.
Oh boy.
Joining, he's talking about some of the major pirates is Blackbeard, Francis Drake, and Walter Kennedy, who was actually inspired by Avery himself.
And probably Bellamy.
Fireball just got really excited. Yeah, a lot of these pirates actually took inspiration from what he did. And there's countless others, but those are some of the more notable ones that I found. Avery himself would continue to be an inspiration of pulp culture into the modern era. He was referenced in 2 episodes of Doctor Who, one in 1966 and one in 2011. The character Gol D. Roger in the popular One Piece manga and anime is partially inspired from him. The 1983 novel, The Pirates, made some reference to him. And my personal favorite, which is where I learned about Avery and what led me to write this and learn more about him, was Naughty Dog's hit video game Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, where he is a major plot line in that. Because you're basically going trying to find his lost treasure. And there's a lot of history that they put into it. A lot of good detail.
Bellamy is also in the Pirates.
Yeehaw. Pirates, yeah, it's P-Y. Well, there's different spellings too over time, but...
Yeah, like Buccaneers. So
Ahoy. Well...
Land this plane?
Huh?
Are we going to land this plane?
Oh, we're docking this ship.
We are docking.
So that will do it for us on today's episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned some, high tide facts in the process.
Yeah.
We will be, as we said before in this episode, we'll be taking a break next week. So I highly doubt we'll have an episode next week due to this upcoming wedding.
Yeah, someone has to go and get married.
We're a bunch of dicks, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess.
Way to ruin the podcast, guys.
Listen, that's why I want to break. Our fucking listeners almost doubled, okay? We'll see what happens here. We're going to come back and see someone listen from fucking Kenya. But we will be back after that week. I'm not sure. Do we have any topics picked out? I have a few things written up, but I don't know if you guys had anything thought out that far.
I've started Eloise mental psychiatric something. It meant Eloise hospital of some sort.
I think I have a cryptid.
I'll throw something out of the woodworks.
That's a spirit. But we'll be back then. Until then, live your best life and never stop full fucking sending it.
Full send it.
Fucking send it.